After rebirth, I decisively refused to go on a blind date with the educated youth sent to the countryside. In my previous life, upon hearing the news that educated youth could return to the city, I, 39 weeks pregnant, hurried back with my big belly, eager to share the good news with my family. But Lee Tuan, who was waiting on the road, pushed me into the river, ignoring my desperate cries for help, until my amniotic fluid broke, staining the river red with blood. Only then did he coldly spit out a few words. Do you think you're something special just because you have a bit of money? If you want to climb the social ladder by becoming my mother and returning to the city with us, you'd better know your place as a stepmother. I'll always be my father's only child. You'd better not entertain any sneaky ideas. Liam Lee, who rushed over upon hearing the news, wore the same icy expression as his son, since Tuan doesn't like having siblings. You'd better not have any more children. Consider this freezing river your sterilization, a permanent solution. I watched helplessly as the little life inside me turned into a blurry mass of flesh and blood, grieving so deeply I could barely breathe. Even if I regretted marrying the wrong man and loving the wrong child now, it would be useless. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the moment when the matchmaker came to propose marriage, looking at the arrogant pair, one tall, one small, standing before me. I let out a cold laugh. Is this the kind of person you found for me? I won't marry such a disgraceful creature. Get them out of my house. As soon as I said this, Lee Tuan's expression instantly changed. What nonsense are you spouting, you foolish woman, a country bumpkin like you, an orphaned old maid? You should feel honored that my father, an educated youth from the city, was willing to marry you. He was still in the middle of his voice change, his tone hoarse and unpleasant, like a duck's quack. Disgusted, I covered my ears, and Lee Tuan immediately fell silent. Instead, he turned pleading, pitiful eyes toward Liam Lee, who had remained silent all along. The matchmaker on the side forced an awkward smile to smooth things over. Lily Lin, not to embarrass you, but when I asked you before who you liked, you clearly said it was Jiching Lee. This is something everyone in our team knows, so why is it that now that I've brought him here, you're suddenly changing your tune and scolding him? I was taken aback, only then remembering how in my past life I had fallen head over heels for Liam Lee at first sight. I ended up doing quite a few shameless things, which eventually made even the matchmaker unable to bear watching and took the initiative to bring us together. But who could have guessed that after marriage, Liam Lee only treated me as a tool for his own gratification. The only moments of tenderness came when he was drunk. Mistaking me for his deceased white moonlight wife, and his son with his deceased wife, Lee Tuan, he treated me even more horribly. Just thinking about how my unborn child in my past life was cruelly killed by them in the icy river, I can't help but wish I could make this despicable father and son pay 100-fold with their lives. But I held back. After all, nothing has happened yet, and what I need to do now is prevent all of this, and cut ties with Liam Lee completely. So I admitted, that's right. I did pursue Jiching Lee. A faint smile appeared on Liam Lee's silent face, while Liam Tuan triumphantly raised his chin at me. But before that dog's mouth could spit out anything, I swiftly changed the topic and continued, but now I've changed my mind. Why should a young maiden like me marry a divorced man and become a stepmother to such an ungrateful brat? 2. Speak properly. Don't drag the child into this. Liam Lee finally spoke up, his face grim but unable to refute. After all, I went to great lengths to win him over, putting in a lot of effort to get close to Lee Tuan. I always gave him the best of everything, yet Lee Tuan never once gave me a kind look. It made all the neighbors look down on me. Lily Lin, I know you're still upset about Tuan's words, but in the end, he's just a child. Liam Lee's gaze held a hint of reproach and disapproval as he looked at me. He said solemnly, I initially allowed you to approach me and even agreed to today's matchmaking because I saw you as generous, kind-hearted, and a good woman who endures hardship without complaint. I thought you could tolerate Tuan, but it turns out you're just like other women. The matchmaker also chimed in with an apologetic smile, trying to mediate. All right, Lily Lin. Although Jiching Lee has been married before, his wife died of illness. He raised the child all by himself. He's a devoted man. Besides, in a year or two when he can return to the city, you'll be able to follow him there and live a life of ease. Apart from Tuan Lee being a burden, Liam Lee is indeed a hot commodity in the marriage market. He's handsome and cultured, making him more popular among women compared to the rough-around-the-edges men around here. As for the persona of a good father who lost his wife and is raising a child alone, it only made him seem more pitiable. In my past life, I was deceived by such appearances. Young and impulsive, I followed him. Unlike others who had parents to intervene and stop them, it ultimately led to tragedy. I sneered and spoke coldly. What's the use of being handsome and devoted, so poor you can't even afford to treat your wife's illness? If I were you, I'd have already dashed my head against a wall. Liam Lee's face changed dramatically. These words had clearly struck a nerve. Although I only have a junior high school diploma, I have the financial support left by my parents. Not only has it allowed me to live comfortably on my own until now, but even before returning to the city, the Lee father and son often relied on my assistance to get by. Little did I know this would make Lituan resent me even more. Don't think your filthy money can seduce my dad. No matter how rich you are, you won't live to old age, all because Liam Lee has always been aloof, treating money like dirt, so much so that he couldn't even afford his wife's life-saving treatment. Yet, Liam Tuan, whose birth mother couldn't afford medical care, doesn't resent Liam Lee for being spineless. Instead, he resents me, the stepmother who treated him as my own, gave him the best food, clothes, and care. Just thinking about it makes me feel as disgusted as if I'd swallowed a fly. Enough. What kind of bullshit city folks are you, if you're so capable? Don't come freeloading at my house anymore. I glanced pointedly at Lee Tuan, whose face had turned livid with anger. If you're so confident about your father's marriage prospects, then go door to door and ask. See who'd be willing to marry their innocent daughter to a man who's still hung up on a dead woman. Perhaps my words were too harsh, as even the matchmaker couldn't stay seated any longer. Lily Lynn, since your mind is made up, I won't try to bring you two together anymore. She awkwardly said goodbye and left. Lituan wanted to say something more but was stopped by Liam Lee beside him. Liam Lee stared fixedly at me, wearing that same expression of deep affection tinged with sorrow. Lily Lynn, you're really angry today. It's true that you're richer than me, but love isn't measured by money. Besides, everyone in the village knows you like me. Before, you spent a lot of money buying things for Tuan. We've been family for a long time. Think it over carefully. I'll wait for you to come to me. 3. The Lee father and son are gone, but I clutch my chest, feeling as if I'm about to vomit out all my internal organs. In my past life, I actually sacrificed not only the life of my unborn child but also nearly my own for such heartless and ungrateful creatures. Thinking of the person who risked their life to jump into the river and save me in my past life, a surge of emotion wells up in my heart, but I was too grief-stricken and distracted, and in the end, I never clearly remembered their face. Later, I was reborn. I sat down to calm myself, but couldn't help starting to worry again. After my parents passed away in my previous life, I truly longed for a family, which was why I was so infatuated with Liam Lee. It was also true that everyone knew my relationship with Liam Lee was practically settled, and fearing trouble, no one introduced me to other potential partners. But now, the news that I've driven the Lee father and son out will soon spread through the streets and alleys. Those so-called friends and relatives from my parents' time will once again relentlessly come knocking to introduce suitors, hoping to collude with outsiders to swallow up the savings my parents left me. Even including this very house I'm living in my past life. As soon as news broke about educated youths returning to the cities, someone asked me if I still wanted this rural house after going back to the city with Liam Lee. I clenched my teeth. This lifetime, whatever my parents left me, I'll hold on to it tightly. Yet reality is always cruel. Liam Lee never came again, probably still waiting for me to seek him out. Others, however, were already eager to try their luck. Often, village bachelors or some distant relative's dim-witted foster son would loiter around my door. There were even shameless widowers bringing their foolish sons along, shouting that I could marry whichever one I fancied. I was trembling with rage. Meanwhile, Lee Tuan would occasionally climb onto the wall to spit at me and mock my misfortune. Without my father willing to marry you, you're only fit for such men. If you know what's good for you, you'd better come apologize to us, I spat in disdain. Picked up a pebble and pretended to throw it, scaring him off. As I sat resting in the small courtyard, a clear, bright voice suddenly came from outside the gate. Comrade Lily Lin, are you home? I opened the door and looked at the young man before me in surprise. It's Zhao Qiming, I recognize him. Zhao Qiming was an educated youth who came with Liam Li. Following behind him was a shy girl, his younger sister, Zhao Wenxiu, sister Lily Lin. I suppressed a sob and responded with a yes. In my previous life, when I brought food and clothes to Lee Tuan, I occasionally ran into Zhao Wenxiu, who worked alongside him. The way the little girl looked at me longingly but didn't dare to speak melted my heart, so from then on, I brought an extra portion for her, and she never forgot my kindness. Every time Lee Tuan gave me a dirty look and teased me by calling me a shameless old maid, Zhao Wenxiu would always frown her delicate brows to stop him, then obediently call me Sister Lily Lin. It's just a pity that later she jumped into the river and committed suicide, rumored to have been bullied and unable to bear it. After Zhao Wenxiu's death, Zhao Qiming went to seek revenge on the murderer but was stopped by the police. In the end, he went mad from overwhelming grief, recalling my past life. A promising young man reduced to a mad, wandering vagrant. I couldn't help but sigh, given this second chance. I'm determined not only to save myself but also to do everything possible to rescue these siblings. Come in and sit down. Zhao Qiming and his sister became the only guests I've invited inside my home in all these days. Village gossip started swirling again, with everyone speculating that I must have taken a fancy to Zhao Qiming. After all, according to my known preferences, Zhao Qiming, just like Liam Li, is an educated youth sent from the city. Both even came with a little tag-along child in tow. It's just that Zhao Qiming has a rigid personality, and his appearance and demeanor aren't as refined and elegant as Liam Li's. Instead, he exudes a resolute and stern aura, looking quite like father material, but the moment he speaks, his clear and bright voice betrays his age. He's even 3 years younger than me. The more I looked, the more my heart raced, and the smile on my face grew wider. Zhao Qiming grew increasingly uneasy under my gaze, his tone stiffening, and half of his ear turning bright red. Comrade Lily Lin, I brought Wenxiu here to thank you for sending her so many things before. I have nothing else to repay you with, so please accept this wild boar meat I hunted in the mountains. Only then did I notice what he was carrying in his hand. I couldn't help but gasp. Zhao Qiming truly didn't seem like someone from the city, hunting wild boars alone. His strength and courage left me in awe. Without thinking, the words slipped out. Will you marry me? 5. The air froze in an instant. I awkwardly tried to recover. Didn't you say you wanted to repay me? I just happen to be short of a man. You know my current situation. Those people outside are watching like tigers eyeing their prey, practically itching to devour me alive. As I spoke, I sighed inwardly. At this point, there was no other way but this. I hope I've kept my eyes open this time. Slowly moving forward on the path I've chosen, there might still be a glimmer of hope. Still better than being cornered and crushed by others. Zhao Qiming froze. He probably had never seen someone so blunt and bold before. Beside him, Zhao Wenxiu was already hugging me excitedly. My brother is willing. Sister Lily Lin, I like you. She slightly turned her head and tugged at Zhao Qiming's sleeve. Brother. Sister Lily Lin is a good person. If she likes you, just go along with it. Then she said to me earnestly, Lily Lin sis, my brother just doesn't know how to speak properly. He might seem a bit intimidating. As for me, I won't be a burden to him. I gently patted the little girl's head with affection. Don't worry, marrying me is a win-win situation. I can provide you with a better life, and I'll support Wenxiu's education in the future. In my world, no one is ever a burden. No sooner said than done. I dragged Zhao Qiming to get our marriage certificate in a flash. Looking at the photo of the two of us, I realized once again that I had been reborn, and hadn't married that bastard Liam Li like in my previous life. Noticing my distraction, Zhao Qiming's initially suppressed joyful gaze dimmed momentarily. He asked cautiously, Do you regret it? I know you like Liam Lee. If you're only thinking of marrying me because you're angry with him for the moment, I can help you." I shook my head vigorously, gritting my teeth and saying, "Don't ever mention that bastard in front of me again." Although I scolded him, Zhao Qiming's expression actually brightened. 6. That very day, I had Zhao Qiming and his sister move in with me, and everyone in the village saw it clearly. When people asked, I openly declared that I was already married and would be holding the wedding ceremony in the next couple of days, inviting everyone to come enjoy a good feast. I didn't even have to invite them one by one. The villagers took it upon themselves to help arrange everything. After all, everyone had seen how many good things I'd regularly given to Li Tuan. Some eager folks couldn't wait to attend my wedding long before the date. Of course, such matters couldn't escape the notice of the Li family father and son. Liam Lee frowned as he watched Zhao Qiming, who had just left my room to busy himself with wedding preparations. "Lily Lin, what do you mean by this? You're about to marry me, yet you're living with another man." I was stunned by his level of narcissism and rolled my eyes. "Where did you get the idea that I'm going to marry you?" Liam Lee remained silent. Last night, he had a dream where he married Lily Lin. The other party was also bustling about, hosting a grand banquet, giving him plenty of face. He and Lily Lin even had a child together, but he couldn't remember the rest of the dream. Perhaps this was his past life with Lily Lin. In this lifetime, although there was a minor hiccup, Lily Lin would definitely marry him. Liam Lee couldn't help but laugh. "All right, Lily Lin, I know you still have feelings for me deep down, otherwise, you wouldn't have prepared our wedding so meticulously." I was just about to retort when a sudden scream came from behind the house. My heart tightened. It was Zhao Wenxiu's voice. I rushed frantically to the back of the house. The scene before me ignited fury in my heart. The old bachelor at the village entrance was pinning the young girl down and tearing at her clothes. Meanwhile, Li Tuan nearby clapped and cheered. I grabbed a brick from the side and hurled it at that old bachelor. Frightened by me, he ran off without even bothering to pull up his pants. I cursed while taking off my own coat and wrapping Zhao Wenxiu, who was still crying, tightly in it. Someone, however, was displeased. "Lily Lin, why are you helping her? If it weren't for her bringing her brother to live in our house, outsiders wouldn't be laughing at me and Dad." I spat fiercely at him. "Pa, only someone as despicable as you would stand by and let that beast bully others. What do you mean our home? This is my home, mine, Zhao Qiming's, and Zhao Wenxiu's home. What does it have to do with you and your dad?" Perhaps my drastic change in attitude these past 2 days was too much for Li Tuan, who had never been treated this way by me before. His eyes actually reddened, and he burst into tears. "Haven't you always liked my dad and said you wanted to be my mom? Why have you become like this now?" Clutching his empty stomach, he grew more aggrieved with each word. "You haven't come to see my dad these past 2 days, nor have you brought me any food or drinks. How can I possibly get used to eating that bland stuff? I don't care. Your attitude has changed so drastically. It must be because Zhao Wenxiu had her brother seduce you. It's all her fault. I'm going to kill her." The more he spoke, the more agitated he became, his expression twisting with rage. Just as Li Tuan was about to strike, I slapped him hard. Then came Liam Lee's furious voice from behind. "Lily Lin, why did you hit the child?" 7. Passers-by gathered around to watch, and I was about to retort again. Zhao Wenxiu in my arms shrank back fearfully. I understood and patted her, preparing to take her inside first. Liam Lee still wanted to step forward and stop me. "Lily Lin, make yourself clear today. We're not even married yet, and you dare to hit Tuan like this. What will you do when we're married? Reach for the sky. How dare I marry you when you're like this?" Fortunately, Zhao Qiming finally returned. Upon learning what had happened, he angrily drove Liam Lee and his son out. Then he went to confront that old bachelor, only to find out that the other person was startled by me, panicked and fled, but accidentally fell into the river and drowned. This matter came to an end, and a heavy weight was lifted from my heart. In this lifetime, Zhao Qiming and his sister were finally safe. The wedding preparations were quickly completed, and the day of my marriage to Zhao Qiming arrived. The entire courtyard was filled with joy, and even the road outside was lined with festive tents. Zhao Qiming and I were making rounds to toast at each table. Suddenly, Zhao Wanxiu, wearing her new floral dress, appeared beside me with reddened eyes. Clinging tightly to me, it seemed this was the only way she could feel secure. Seeing me look at her, the little girl hurriedly put on a smile. Feeling sorry for her, I gently touched her hair and was about to ask what was wrong, when suddenly a stone came flying straight toward me. Zhao Qiming caught it with a frown and looked at me worriedly. "Are you okay, Lily Lin? Are you really going to abandon your husband and child?" Liam Li's brows furrowed deeply. He had another dream last night. Dreaming of his past life where he married Lily Lin and lived happily ever after. But upon waking, Lily Lin had actually married someone else. Following closely behind him, Li Tuan was holding stones. But instead of looking at me, he wore an expression of utter hatred toward Zhao Wanxiu. Li Tuan turned to me and hesitantly spoke up. "Lily Lin, I'll allow you to be my mom now, as long as you make Zhao Wanxiu and his brother get out right now. I won't hold your foolish actions against you." Zhao Wanxiu tearfully clung tightly to my waist, while Zhao Qiming's expression gradually darkened, but his grip on my hand grew tighter and tighter, as if he would never let go even in death. "Today is my wedding with Lily Lin. You weren't invited. Get out," Liam Li sneered. "Why should I be the one to leave? Lily Lin has always loved me, Zhao Qiming. Back when we went to the countryside together, you stole my wife." The words exploded like thunder. The surrounding guests immediately burst into discussion. 8. I heard Lily Lin originally liked Jiqing Li, and they were almost engaged. But then Jiqing Zhao suddenly appeared. Could it be that Lily Lin was two-timing? That's something you could get arrested for. Seeing how the rumors about me and the Li father-son duo have been exaggerated to absurd levels. I wish I could slap my past self. How could you be so stupid as to get involved with these scumbags? A glint of satisfaction flashed in Liam Li's eyes as he spoke with conviction. "Lily Lin, I know you're upset because Tuan disrespected you. I've already lectured him. It won't happen again." After speaking, he pushed Li Tuan forward, who looked at me expectantly. "Mom, I'm sorry." Liam Li curled his lips into a smile, as if he had already given me a huge concession. "Lily Lin, now you can stop making a fuss and marry me, right?" "Bullshit." I poured a bottle of wine over his head. "What kind of trash are you, thinking you're worthy of marrying me? I must have been blind before. Consider my sincerity fed to dogs. You're still hung up on a dead woman, and you let your son disrespect me. Get the hell out of my house." The more I spoke, the angrier I became, just recalling my past life, being pushed into the river, blood gushing endlessly from my body, made every inch of me ache with pain. I glared angrily at Li Tuan beside me. "And you little ingrate, even a dog I raised would wag its tail for me. Are you even worthy of being called my son?" The faces of the Li father and son grew increasingly pale. As if realizing I had completely turned my back on them, the surrounding guests also began to chime in agreement. "Yes, Comrade Li, your son is truly detestable. Lily Lin is such a fine young maiden. Why should she have to marry you and become a stepmother? Besides, you slack off every time there's work to be done. You can't even compare to Comrade Zhao, a grown man without any strength. How can you support a family? It's only natural Lily Lin dumped you." That's right. Lily Lin hasn't treated you badly in the past. Today is her big day. If you have any conscience left, just let her be." The crowd had long been eyeing the dishes on the table hungrily. They chattered away, each chiming in with their own comments. "Can't wait for the Li father and son to get out quickly, so the wedding can continue smoothly and everyone can happily enjoy the feast." Liam Li was utterly humiliated. He cares deeply about his reputation, yet now he's being driven out like a stray dog in front of everyone. Unable to bear it any longer, he hastily left with Li Tuan. 9. Although there was a little hiccup, the wedding was still completed with great festivity. After seeing off the guests, Zhao Wanxiu clung to me, gave me a kiss, and placed my hand into Zhao Qiming's. Her face was flushed as she said, "Sister-in-law, my brother and I will always treat you well." With that, she took out a bracelet and handed it to me. "This was left to us by my mother before she passed away. Sister-in-law, I'm giving it to you as a wedding gift. From now on, we're family." Beside them, Zhao Qiming scratched his head and smiled sheepishly. On their wedding night, When alone with Zhao Qiming, he actually seemed somewhat reserved. "Lily, I guess this means we're married now." I knew that because of the scene the Li father and son had caused during the day, this man felt somewhat uneasy in his heart. So I immediately reassured him, "From now on, I'll be your wife. Just tell me, do you like me? Are you willing to stay with me and live our lives together?" Zhao Qiming nodded repeatedly. It was his good fortune that such a bright-eyed, kind-hearted, and spirited girl had taken a liking to him, not to mention, she had even saved his younger sister. He mustered up the courage and took the initiative to kiss her, a night of tenderness. Although Zhao Qiming didn't seem like the type to sweet-talk, he was actually very gentle and considerate. In contrast, in my past life when I married Liam Lee, he first treated me as his deceased wife, and after intimacy, he would just coldly turn his face away. Li Tuan even went so far as to put bugs in my bathwater. At that time, I simply thought it was because of their deep father-son bond. One mourning his late wife, the other longing for his birth mother, that they were cold and resentful toward me. I actually forgave them just like that and tirelessly worked myself to the bone inside and out. The moment I think of this, I hate myself again for being blind in my past life. After marrying Zhao Qiming, my life became even more comfortable, both inside and outside the home. Zhao Qiming and Zhao Wenxiu took care of everything. Every time I felt embarrassed and wanted to help with some chores, this honest brother and sister would kindly persuade me to rest. 3 months later, when I wasn't feeling well and called for a doctor, it turned out I was pregnant. I touched my belly with a sense of disbelief. My heart was filled with both joy and sorrow. The shadow of that miscarriage in my past life still seemed to loom over me from time to time, and I guarded this child with almost extreme caution. I was even nervous to the point of being somewhat neurotic. Zhao Qiming's eyes were filled with concern. After secretly asking the doctor and learning that some pregnant women tend to experience excessive anxiety, he often found ways to cheer me up. Meanwhile, Zhao Wenxiu obediently stayed by my side, practically acting as my little nurse. Terrified that something might happen to me, gradually, I began to relax and started enjoying these days. Li Tuan suddenly appeared at my doorstep covered in wounds. 10. When I caught sight of him, I was utterly shocked. Half a year had passed without seeing him, and now winter had arrived with freezing temperatures. Li Tuan was wearing only thin trousers, bare-chested, his back covered densely with scars. Seeing me approach, he thudded to his knees in the snow. Sobbing, he said, "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have treated you so badly." My heart skipped a beat. For some reason, I thought of my past life and tentatively asked, "What do you mean by that?" Yet Li Tuan looked utterly bewildered and explained, "It was my dad who said it. He told me we wronged you in our past life, which is why our bond has run its course in this one. He's seriously ill. He fell sick right after hitting me. I hope you can go see him," he said. "It's all because of the wrongs I've committed." Li Tuan looked at my belly and said, "Claiming that in my past life I caused you to miscarry, resulting in a life lost, saying it's made him restless day and night, gravely ill, as if a child's ghost is haunting him for vengeance." I realized with astonishment that Liam Lee had also been reborn and had even come to believe in ghosts and gods. A flicker of understanding crossed my mind. After all, if rebirth could happen, what else was impossible? It's just a pity for that child. My heart ached with a dense, lingering pain. Li Tuan grew increasingly fearful as he spoke. Whether from the pain of his backwound or the biting cold, he began to tremble uncontrollably, as more and more curious onlookers gathered, unwilling to become the center of gossip. I suppressed my disgust and threw Li Tuan a piece of clothing. He became excited and eagerly took me to find Liam Lee. In this life, without my financial support and willingness to endure hardships, the Lee father and son no longer enjoyed a life of comfort and privilege. The drafty room was bitterly cold, and the dirty, messy place remained uncleaned. There was also a faint stench lingering in the air. I had a bad feeling in my heart, and only breathed a sigh of relief when I saw the person on the bed was still alive. Liam Lee's eyes lit up the moment he saw me arrive. The foul stench was coming from his lower body, hidden beneath the blanket. Turns out, these past few months, without my help, he had no choice but to find ways to work and support the family. As a result, he fell dazed from the ridge and became paralyzed. When he woke up again, he recalled all his memories from his past life. He also realized that I must have been reborn as well. Comparing his past life with the present one, he was filled with regret, and even at night, he always seemed to hear the cries of children. It must be all that child's doing that turned him into what he is today. Lily Lynn, I wronged you in my past life, but that child is gone and that's it. He was no good. I won't make you get sterilized anymore. We can have another one. Beside them, Lee Tuan listened, filled with anger and resentment. Dad, you promised Mom when she left that I would be your only child. Liam Lee raised his hand to strike him. Yet, Liam Lee clearly held a grudge and took a step back. Letting Liam Lee overexert himself and fall off the bed, Liam Lee immediately passed out, and without the blanket covering him, his paralyzed lower body was exposed, covered in filth. I was already experiencing some pregnancy symptoms, and seeing this scene made me vomit uncontrollably. As I clutched my stomach trying to calm myself, Lee Tuan's gaze fell on my belly again, and he asked blankly, "Why do you always protect your stomach? Are you pregnant?" 11. To avoid any accidents. I kept my pregnancy news well hidden. I forced a cold smile and said, "What pregnancy? Didn't your father say you caused me to miscarry in our past life? Do you want to do it again? You truly disgust me." Lee Tuan's face turned deathly pale. "That's not it. I was just afraid that if you had another child, you wouldn't love me anymore." I immediately corrected him. "First, I'm not your mother. Second, I'm not your stepmother. I never loved you in the first place. Now that I've seen your father one last time, whether you live or die has nothing to do with me anymore." With those words, I turned and left without hesitation, never looking back. The thought of my past life and this disgusting place makes me not want to stay a second longer. After leaving the Lee family, I unexpectedly noticed two figures, one tall and one short, standing by the roadside. Zhao Wenxiu practically broke into a happy jog the moment she spotted me, yet cautiously stopped a meter away. Careful not to bump into me, and Zhao Qiming behind her also relaxed his brows, smiling as he walked toward me. "The roads are slippery in the snow. Let me carry you back." A little embarrassed, I nestled in his arms. "How did you two?" Zhao Wenxiu spoke up first. "I know sister-in-law is a kind-hearted person. When Lee Tuan came begging like that, you'd surely soften and go with him. But I was worried about you, so I called brother to come find you together. Please don't be angry." I smiled and patted her hair, and only then did the little girl relax, skipping ahead of us cheerfully. Although Zhao Qiming didn't speak, I felt somewhat guilty and spoke up. "I really have nothing to do with Liam Lee and the others anymore. Today was just about making a clean break to make them give up completely." "I believe you." I stared blankly at Zhao Qiming, his eyes filled with trust and affection for me. Only then did I realize that a married couple could be so intimately close. Thinking back to Liam Lee's cold looks in my past life, and how every time Lee Tuan caused trouble and hurt me, Liam Lee would suspect it was my fault. Perhaps in my previous life, Zhao Qiming was the one fate originally intended for me. It's just that he wasn't good with words, and I happened to meet Liam Lee, who was also an educated youth like him but skilled in romantic affairs, leading me astray into the abyss. The snow gradually lightened, but as we passed by the riverside, a woman suddenly rushed over, crying and begging for our help. "My son fell into the river. I can't swim. Please save him." Without hesitation, Zhao Qiming plunged headfirst into the water. Meanwhile, Zhao Wenxiu comforted both me and the woman by our side. "My brother is an excellent swimmer. Don't worry. He'll definitely save them." I anxiously looked toward the river, and sure enough, Zhao Qiming was already coming up with the child in his arms. Seeing the child was safe, the mother repeatedly expressed her gratitude. I quickly took off my coat to wrap around Zhao Qiming. At this moment, he was in a sorry state, his face covered in muddy water, barely recognizable as the handsome young man he usually was. Yet the moment our eyes met, my memories exploded. The face of my savior from my past life. I finally matched it. 12. "Thank you, Qiming." We hurried home and both drank ginger soup to ward off the cold. Zhao Qiming bundled me up tightly. He's in good health and had no issues. As for me, I caught a bit of a cold. Why thank me? It's all my fault for being useless and letting you get sick. You and Wanshio stay at home. I'll go find a doctor right now." Zhao Qiming was both anxious and guilt-ridden. I quickly grabbed him and recounted everything about my rebirth. After a long silence, Zhao Qiming held me tightly and choked out, "Lily, you've suffered so much." I wiped away my tears and shook my head. "Perhaps this is fate. In our past life, you didn't hesitate to save me, and in this life, I've changed your destiny. They say good deeds bring good rewards. Look, aren't we living very well now?" Zhao Wanshio also leaned in, her eyes reddening as she said, "Brother, sister-in-law, our family will only get better from now on." A year later, the educated youth returned to the city. Zhao Qiming and I moved to the city together. While the house in the countryside was looked after by the woman whose child Zhao Qiming had saved, Zhao Qiming chose to dive into business, and I accompanied Zhao Wanshio in her studies. 3 years later, Zhao Wanshio successfully got into university. She blossomed into a beautiful young woman and would often come back to act coquettishly with me. Zhao Qiming's and my daughter had already learned to run around calling mommy and daddy. Over these years, Zhao Qiming vowed to create better living conditions for us. Not only did he not spend my money, but he also entrusted all his earnings to me to manage. Life kept getting better and better. Everything was exactly as I had dreamed of happiness in my past life. During one Qingming holiday, I took my whole family back to our hometown to pay respects to my parents, but we encountered a deranged vagrant. Zhao Qiming went to the car to fetch the joss paper. Zhao Wanshio and my daughter Nian were both startled. Frowning, I shielded them behind me, but the homeless man knelt before me. Only then did I realize it was actually Li Tuan. I heard a few years ago that Liam Li died of illness before he could return to the city. As for Li Tuan, he became an orphan, and because of his unruly temperament, no one in the village was willing to take him in. It wasn't until the day Liam Li was buried that Li Tuan suddenly started raving, saying things like, "My mother is Lily Lin, she wouldn't abandon me." I knew then, he must have been reborn too. Sure enough, Li Tuan looked up at me with tears in his eyes. "I'm sorry, Mom, Auntie Lin. It was my fault in my past life. I shouldn't have pushed you. I know I was wrong." When Liam Li had previously told him that he was the one who pushed Lily Lin, who was about to give birth, into the river in their past life, he only felt he should apologize to Lily Lin but didn't truly grasp the gravity of it. However, once he regained memories of his past life, everything felt as if it had just happened yesterday. The image of Lily Lin's desperate, wide-eyed screams for help was still vivid before his eyes, and suddenly, Li Tuan was overcome with fear. Lily Lin refused to be his stepmother again in this lifetime, even wishing him dead. What would become of him now? No one would ever cover for him again. I remained silent, shaking off Liam Tuan's grip on my hand in disgust. 13. Get lost. Liam Tuan was no longer a child now. He looked more and more like Liam Li, making me sick to my stomach at the sight of him. Li Tuan timidly released his grip, stiffly turned his head to look at Zhao Wanshio behind me, then shifted his gaze to my daughter Nian. Nian is a lively and bold little girl who knows nothing of what's happening. After the initial fright passed, she flashed Li Tuan a radiant smile. Yet Li Tuan screamed and scrambled away in panic. He seemed somewhat delirious, muttering incessantly, "I didn't mean to kill you back then. I was just too afraid you'd steal my favor. Don't come any closer." Nian looked at me with grievance, utterly confused. I patted her little head and sighed. "The child I lost in my previous life, I pay respects to them every year, hoping they'll be reborn into a good family in this lifetime. But why is Li Tuan just as guilty and fearful as Liam Li? Could it be that the child has truly been following them all this time?" I glanced around suspiciously. Zhao Wanshio, however, cleared his throat awkwardly and said to me, "Sister-in-law, actually there's no such thing as ghosts or spirits. It was just me. When I passed by the Li family's place earlier, I accidentally overheard what Liam Li said. I thought he would repent after being reborn, but he's still a beast." Zhao Wanshio's eyes burned with anger. "So I used a little trick to scare him and help you vent your anger." She looked at Li Tuan with a complicated expression. "But I haven't had the chance to scare Li Tuan yet. It's his own guilty conscience from doing something bad." Lily, Zhao Qiming had already returned. Waving at us with a smile, I took one last glance at Li Tuan, who was frantically begging for mercy. Walking towards Zhao Qiming with Zhao Wenxiu and Nian Nian.